Everybody little tapping with the pot.
Y'all tune into the Pop Podcast. And guess what? There's an episode of me on
and you are tuned into the Pot Podcast.
And with the Pot Podcast with my boy Tgmatic. You hear me? It's going down. To follow the Pot Podcast with Tgmatic.
That's that number one.
That's that number one.
And Productions. Philadelphia, 1987. A place where we all experience the corner. Let me take you back to how it all starts and ends.
One of my homies died. I done lost so many, I don't think I'm gonna cry.
This the life we chose.
No, I didn't, but it chose me. I keep the heat on the streets cause they froze me. Corner boy, please get out the corner. When they squeezing you leave, who gon' raise your daughter? You left your baby mama in the cold. That shit is old. Another youngin' dying in the fold. It's untold. Yup, the new ratchet come with fresh casket. Your favorite aunt put together flour, fresh basket. The fish fry for your folks, you know family matters. The Hardy boys coming too and they bring them ladders. They made a plan to spin the block, leave them niggas splatted. Even the kids got switches, letting people have it. And somebody clip them, it'll be tragic. You know the cycle never ends, it's gonna keep happening. So, corner boy, please get out the corner. When they squeezing you leave, who gon' raise your daughter? You left your baby mama in the cold, that shit is old. Another youngin' dying in the fold, it's untold. Yeah, two of my homies died. I done lost so many, don't think I'm gonna cry.
This the life we chose.
No, I didn't, but it chose me. I keep the heat on the streets cause they froze me.
I remember when me and Homie used to talk. We would talk about the game and he would ask me what I thought. And I said it needed change. And that's exactly what I brought. But let me take you back a little bit. Right back to the dungeon, we was broken, we ain't had shit. Couldn't pay for nothing, we had dreams of being mad rich. Hit the city stunting, as of right now we just average. Gotta think of something, so I hit my nigga King. Man, he told us about a lick, said it was a sure thing. Once we hit it, we'll be rich. Yeah, that's it, told the team. So we went and got the blick, so we went and pulled the sting. It turned out to be a miss, shit. So we back on Kershaw, Cape block, right back where we started with my all in. Day ones, cause that's where I started, nigga. Cause every time that I'm recording, I just think about my dogs and I always do it for them, yeah. Corner boy, please stay off the corner. When they squeezing you leave, who gon' raise your daughter? You left your baby mama in the cold. That shit is old. Another youngin' dying in the fold. It's untold. Yeah, 3 of my homies died. I done lost so many. Don't think I'm gonna cry. But this the life we chose. No, I didn't, but it chose me. I keep the heat on the streets cause it froze me.
Corner boy, please stay off the corner. Know how many of my friends' kids done lost their fathers to 'em? Retaliations, whispers saying do 'em. And if you get caught slipping, they slide and they might be plotting on you. Like kickboxing and slap, I hate to sock it to you. Niggas won't give you the answer, say you the problem to 'em. Lost 6 folks in 7 months, this shit is stupid. Fuck them niggas telling you to do it. Your mindset thinking different, do it. I know the struggle, young and I've been through it. I lost my mind, I got it back and through it. To myself, I'm living life above the rim, just coolin'. I know niggas shooting. Hey, look, the corner made me understand the love I gotta give. Cold shoulder, keep the fans safe, not cause I don't care. I make your stories every day. If you my mans, because I care. I don't come around for nothing when I ain't got shit to give. For the haters got guns, I used to sit out there in bed. And now I don't sit inside cars around there. Pride made us famous, but the homies that I miss ain't worth the shit. Money ain't worth the lick. Dumb little bum, you just make Berkeley rich. If I could have them back, I probably wouldn't never trip. If I could have them back, I probably wouldn't even spit. That right there some shit, niggas know that means some shit. Corner boy, please stay off the corner. When they squeezing you leave, who gon' raise your daughter? You left your baby mama in the cold. This shit is old. Never young and dying in the fold. It's untold. 4 of my homies died. I done lost so many, don't think I'm gon' cry. Shit, this the life we chose. No, I didn't, but it chose me. I keep that heat on the streets, cause it,
V-Ray's going too hard though.
Praise them all. It's like the desires of my heart won't on your mind no more. Drowned in the water, couldn't find you, no car, see a boat. Know why you ignoring me, yeah. Seen people blessed with my request, like now you gotta be teasing. Telling myself it's in due season, like I'm really believing. My blessing came once I realized delayed for a reason. You not hear me, yeah. When your emotions don't change your confession, it's real. You gotta keep your face strong. That's the simplest I know. Guard what you look at and what you let between your ears. God good, his showers of comfort outweigh all your stress. It's true, I had to share this good news to all my peers. Your timing, not his timing, and the spirit I heard him say. If he didn't do it, no, it's not because it couldn't be done. You just weren't mature enough to handle it. And he ain't just gonna bless anyone. Wait on God. Don't cry, dry your eyes, just wait on God. When faith is low and trust is hard, just wait on God.
Yo, what's up, y'all? You are now tuned into another episode of the Pot Podcast with Tgmatic, and it's your boy. I hope y'all doing good today. I hope y'all here, and I hope y'all can hear me, because I don't know if y'all can hear me right now, but we about to check that now. All right. So, folks, how y'all feeling today? I'm great. Enjoying this Saturday. We booming. And listen, I got a guest who's not just any regular guest. This guest is family. You know what I'm saying? My grassroots family. And he's here with me today, y'all. So, we're going to have a little fun. We're going to chop it up. Oh, there we go. I hope y'all can hear me. Let's start over. Everybody, welcome to another episode of The Pot. We stirring the pot. Actually, we got the pot going down at the bottom, but it's stirring the pot today. We stirring. Welcome. Listen, as always, this episode was brought to you by Hollywood TV, Hollywood Radio, Dollar Radio, Going In Radio, www.damanibrand.com, and NorthShadeDemoraboutique.com. Hey, listen, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I got my guest here today. He's family, grassroots family. And listen, he a real one. I'm glad he's here. And we're about to get it in, have this conversation, like we do, like us kings do out here, And he's out here fighting for justice, fighting for the people from Will County, representing Black Lives Matter Grassroots Will County. I bring you Karl Ferrell. What's going on, my guy?
Word, man. What's the word? I had to come in and stir the pot. You feel me?
Yeah. We here. We stirring the pot, baby. Stirring the pot, baby. Hey. What's good, man? All right, so let me give you the before we get into it. First of all, welcome. But I like to let my guests give themselves a formal introduction and do their own thing. So the floor is yours, good brother.
Okay. What can I say? What can I say more? You gave me a great introduction, but I'm me. I'm Karl. I'm Karl, currently the sitting chair of Will County Black Lives Matter Grassroots, the Will County chapter. I'm also a member of Equity and Transformation. I'm on the Joliet leadership team of that. I'm an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? Like it's so much. I mean, what more can I say?
Hey man, it's good to have you here, and I just want to say welcome once again because it's good to have you here. You know what I'm saying? We've been trying to get it going for a minute, and now we got it going. So we definitely about to get into it. But before we do, tell me how you feeling today, man.
Man, I'm blessed. As long as I wake up, man, I'm blessed. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to do. I wake up, I figure the rest out.
That's a fact. All right. So we gonna get into it, man. All right. So before we even get into like talking about policy and protests, you know what I'm saying? we're gonna talk a little bit about the activism, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually born from pain. How did the murder of Eric Lurry impact you emotionally before it impacted you politically?
That's a deep question.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go there today.
Yeah, so so leading up, leading up to 2020, man, my whole life I always felt like, something was wrong. It's things that are wrong, even though I didn't understand. I never took the time to try to figure out like what was what. I knew something was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Systemic, right? It's things out here that's designed for us to fail. You know what I'm saying? And it's things that aren't acknowledged when it happens. So when that happened, I knew it was wrong. I knew something was wrong. And, I had conversations about it being wrong, and I just knew that something needed to be done. And you know what I mean? And that's it. That's as far as I got at that moment. I just knew that it was wrong though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I knew that another black man had got murdered by the hands of the police. And that it was gonna try to be covered up. I knew it was wrong. I knew it just seemed wrong. It just seemed it seemed incomplete, you know what I mean, with the information that was originally like given to the public. Like it just didn't seem right. It seemed like something was off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was it was something. And that was my initial feelings though of that.
So how did that impact you politically?
So it's a lot to that. It's a lot to that because so when that happened, I didn't know what to do. And then remember, like nobody knew, you know what I mean, like what really happened for like 5.5 months. So but during that 5.5 months, because that happened January 28th. So during that 5.5 months, that was 2020.
They were sitting on evidence.
They definitely hid the evidence, which is what they do. You know what I'm saying out here. They definitely had the evidence, video, any footage for like 5.5, 6 months. They try to do that, but George Floyd was murdered.
Yeah.
During that time, and so
rest
in peace to George Floyd too. And the world kind of got crazy, right? And it became that movement. That movement was amplified, right, with George Floyd. So at the end of George Floyd, before the video footage was released, and the truth came out about what happened to Eric Lurry, there were 2 girls that were still outside in the middle of the town. Where I'm in Joliet. We 25 minutes outside of Chicago. So the middle of this town is a street called Larkin and Jefferson, and those 2 streets lead to both of the highways, right? So if you disrupt right there, on the corner of Larkin and Jefferson, then you affecting highway traffic, I-80 and I-55. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the spot. So it was 2 girls, and they were young. They were 15 and 17, and they were still out there with Black Lives Matter flags. It wasn't even a Black Lives Matter chapter out here yet. They just was, you know what I'm saying? Because remember, it was trending. So everybody had Black Lives Matter flag. And then they were outside, and right where they were outside at, where people held actions, it was these guys that used to sell Trump paraphernalia. And so they got into an altercation with this old white man, you know what I'm saying, who was in his 50s that sold Trump paraphernalia, and ultimately he smacked one of the sisters in the head with a flagpole, and he gave her a concussion, you know what I'm saying, and concussions, you know, he fought both of them. And at that point, that's when I was like, man, like, you know what I'm saying, where the kings at? You know what I'm saying? Where our kings at? Where the protectors? Where What are shepherds? You know what I'm saying? Who protecting the flock? Like, it's crazy. Right. So, you know what I'm saying? It's time to stop trying to figure it out and put some action behind that thought. And so then that's what I did at that moment.
Oh man, that's what's up. Well, we thank you for that, first of all, because we need more kings stepping up to help our sisters out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's definitely important. So you knew at that time that something had to be done. So how did you connect with Grassroots, with BLM Grassroots?
Man, I connected with so I found Big Brother Clyde, man. Clyde out the Lake County chapter.
Shout out to Clyde, the OG.
Shout out to Clyde, man. I found Clyde and I reached out to a few other organizers, and I reached out to Clyde, and I reached out to Alonzo Wahid, who was part of Equity and Transformation, and that's how I got in tune with them, and I bought both of them out here, and Alonzo was kind of already doing some work out here, but I bought Clyde out here, and then I introduced both of them to Nicole, who is the widow of Eric Lurry, and then that's how that part got started. But Clyde helped us set up a chapter of BLM, so we got 5 people, and we founded a chapter, Black Lives Matter. This was our original logo. You know what I'm saying? It was Black Lives Matter Will County, and then we kept it going, and then last year when we had the opportunity to do the onboarding with Grassroots, then you know what I'm saying, that's when we did the onboarding with Grassroots and became part of the 53 international chapters.
Yeah. Where we met.
Right. It was so much
that's
fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It was an awesome experience, man, and I had a great time with y'all,
Yeah, man.
All right. So what does grief look like for organizers who don't have the luxury to stop?
Man, you know what, man? That's so crazy because it might be weird and I shouldn't do it, but sometimes if I'm sitting down with my, with chat, right? I sit down with my chat, and if I'm putting something together, because everybody uses chat to cheat now, you know what I'm saying, kind of help out. And my chat said that the organizing work, that laughter and joy, has always been part of the movement work, right? Finding that time to have laughter and joy. One of our things is Black wellness, right? So you're gonna hear me mention this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely am a founder of one of the founders of our chapter of BLM Grassroots, you know what I'm saying? But we are also part of Equity and Transformation, and so part of their structure is Black wellness, and that's serious. So I kind of, that was instilled. You got to take time for you. If you don't take time to decompress and ground, then that grief, you know what I mean? Because everybody is traumatized by the things you see, especially as an organizer, because you're gonna see it all. And and if you don't take time to ground, and your mental health is not gonna be right, man. As a matter of fact, one of the first people who I met, they had arrested Clyde. They put a couple cases on Clyde after Karl Rittenhouse killed those guys up there in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And who, Clyde just look at God, because Clyde they had shot Clyde with like rubber bullets that day. So, he had left for that day. He was done for that day. And the guys who were standing in front of him as his bodyguards, you know what I'm saying, using their body to be bodyguards, are the ones that Karl Rittenhouse killed, that murdered, And so they didn't like what Clyde was doing, so they put a case on Clyde. So anyway, we had a press conference out there, and I met this guy named Shay. And Shay was an organizer out there, man, and Shay was doing his thing. He had an org, and he was doing his thing. And Shay is no longer with us. Shay is an ancestor now. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Because
so what happened to him, if you don't mind me asking?
His way of dealing with the grief. You know what I'm saying? His way of dealing with the stress and the trauma that, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna see, as an organizer, you're trying to find solutions for people's problems. Like, it didn't work out well for him. You know what I'm saying? And he died. He drunk himself to death, man. And we see that a lot in these spaces. You know what I mean? Because people have to find a way. You know, you got to try to find a way to cope, but you got to find a healthy way to cope. So for me, like dealing with the grief and what the grief look like is trying to make sure that I take care of my mental health, especially in in a space like this.
Yeah, and you know that's really important because that's one of the main things that we need to do out here, you know, and it's hard just being a man, period, but to have to deal with other people's issues, and it's not just men, it's the women too, you know. Being an organizer, period, is just hard within itself. So I want to watch what I say because you just explained something very traumatic, right?
Right.
I understand that life can get hard sometimes, you know. So with these pressures, what advice would you say? What type of advice would you give to someone who's going through this? And what would you tell another organizer like myself, not just myself, but other organizers? What would be a gem that you would give to them that could help them going through the process of helping others with situations?
Man, what's that? Serenity, man. Serenity. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have the courage to change the things that you can.
Accept the things you can't change.
Accept the things you can't change, and the wisdom to know the difference. You know what I'm saying? And you can't fight every battle at once. Some things you are gonna have to put on the back burner. You know what I'm saying? Some things you are going to delegate to other people, and that's the point of having a organization, so that you have other people you could delegate tasks to. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't carry everything on your shoulders
by yourself.
You cannot. Yeah. You will burn out so fast. You will burn out like a candle dipped in gasoline, man. You will burn.
And bro, look, when you just said that, I relate to it so much because when I first got started, I was by myself. I didn't have enough people in the org yet. So it was like, oh, I'm running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Like, oh, what I'm gonna do? You know, I called you for advice. I call everybody for advice. So it was like, yo, what should I do? But now I'm a little bit more poised, a little bit more calm about it. And even though I'm not fully on go yet, because the things are still getting acclimated and built.
Right.
I'm learning to take my time and use the people God put in place for me, you know, so that I don't experience burnout.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's a study, man, that's been done that, like, they say that like most organizers, you know what I'm saying, organizers burn out, man, within their first few years.
Really?
Yeah, because it's crazy. Like, man, you're gonna look up and you're gonna see, like, so let me okay, like, so a lot of people who have been victims of like state-sanctioned violence, who are directly involved with the work, they have that specific trauma to kind of help push them along, right? But then you got to think about how many people are affected by state-sanctioned violence, right? And I'm just mentioning state-sanctioned violence because that's our big thing with, you know,
that's one of our biggest things.
Yeah. So you got to think about how many people in the world, how many people in the country are affected by state-sanctioned violence, but choose not or don't know how to organize behind it, right? So you're already dealing with a really small percentage of people who choose to try to combat state-sanctioned violence and go after justice for their family, right? And so out of that small amount of people, most of those people don't last too long. You know what I'm saying? They still got to go to work. They still got to balance whatever else is in front of them, and then they still got to fight for justice, right? And that fight for justice is complex because you got the people that's with you that's not helping you fight for justice, that's talking down, that's bringing you down. Then you got the people that don't understand your fight, and you got to keep explaining it. And then you got the people you fighting against, and then you got the people that look like they with you, but they not really. So it's a lot of levels to that. So most people, especially if you by yourself, you know what I'm saying, they burn out fast. And that's the thing. Like, if you haven't directly been affected by whatever pushed you towards the movement. And I mean directly, like if it wasn't your kids or a real close family member, you know what I'm saying? It's even easier for people to just walk away, to just get tired. Like, man, you know, this, because it ain't like this glorious. We don't make millions of dollars doing this. You know what I'm saying? If you a real organizer, you're not an ambulance chaser. Like, you're really trying to get justice, and that's for free. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand that. Like, so a lot of people, man, they got to go back to their life. They light bill get behind. They got to go back to that. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to even balance and find a way to finance yourself for the movement work, you know? And that's hard too. So
tell me a bit about your other business. What's the name of it again? I don't want to say it wrong again.
No, K&J Visionary Enterprise.
Yeah. Okay, tell me a bit about that. And tell me about the you said, what is it called? Diversity and inclusion. What was that again?
The other org?
Yeah.
It's equity and transformation. The other org, equity and transformation.
Tell me about both of those, and you can decide which one you want to talk about first, and then I'll ask my questions about those as well.
All right, I'll do the business first, because the business is it's K&J. Now it's K&J Visionary Enterprise. This is we do residential home remodels, new construction, things of that nature. We will travel, but yeah, that's what we do. We do construction. It's a construction company. We're a general contractor. With that.
So how'd you get into that?
Oh man, I've been in the trades. I've been doing the trade works for like 26 years now.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying?
He get to it, y'all hear him. He get busy.
That's the bread and butter right there.
Yeah. One round of applause for that, sir.
I appreciate it.
All right. So what's your other business? Tell us a bit about that as well. Tell us about the other org, I mean.
The other org. So the other org is equity and transformation, man. And,
so tell us about equity and transformation. What is it about? And what's your mission statement?
So equity and transformation is an organization that was started by all formerly incarcerated persons. And it is a voice for people that are formerly incarcerated or members of the informal community. Informal community is any dollar that you do not pay taxes on. So whether you was the weed man or you babysit kids at your house, you part of the informal community. Strippers, you part of the informal community. You know what I'm saying? And so those people, members of the informal community, you still part of society, right? But
absolutely,
you don't have a voice sometimes. If you come home from prison and you know what I'm saying, they have these permanent punishments that restrict you from housing or restrict you from certain jobs, like, you know what I'm saying, you're not a full citizen. Well, you need a voice to be a full citizen. You need a voice. Absolutely. You need somebody for democracy. You need somebody to speak your purpose, you know what I'm saying, to speak on your best interest. So yeah, so that's what equity and transformation is about. And we with them, man, I've seen a lot. I learned a lot from them, you know what I'm saying, as far as with the organizing. We just took a pilot program that we had where we were given, because where we at in Illinois, marijuana is legal.
Okay.
Right? So in order for them to legalize marijuana, they had to say that, hey, the war on drugs was kind of bogus. We disproportionately affected Black and brown communities, but now we finna sell weed, you know what I'm saying, as a state.
Y'all gotta let some people out of jail now.
Yeah, and they did that, but they also said, they wrote in the legislation that we're gonna take 25% of the cannabis tax revenue and give it back and reinvest it in the communities most affected from the war on drugs. So they call them R3 zones. You know what I'm saying? And we was like, hey man, where the money at? Because y'all not giving the money back. So we started a pilot program where we took 130 families, gave them $500 a month and a network of resources, right? And out of that 100, and these are all formerly incarcerated families, right? So out of that 130 families, only 2 people had police contact. So we had a less than 2% recidivism rate.
Oh, that's
and then,
awesome.
Cook County saw it, and the city of Chicago saw it, and they set our founder, you know what I'm saying, on their board to help them basically use our model to create the same system. And they did it temporarily, and then Cook County doubled back. And Cook County is the county that Chicago is in. Cook County doubled back, and they did a permanent one. So now we have the first guaranteed income project based off marijuana tax revenue in the country. You know, so
that's fine.
Yeah, and we got a bill in legislation right now trying to get it into the whole state budget so that we can pass it statewide, so that all everybody who's eligible for food stamps, we call it SNAP benefits out here, but everybody eligible for SNAP benefits is eligible for the $500 direct cash payment. You know what I'm saying, monthly. It's House Bill 4443, HB 4443. And so we're trying to get that passed right now across the whole state.
Oh man, that's awesome. You know, that actually helps a lot of families, you know, that's low income for sure. And felons, like you said, those coming out of jail needing a boost in life, you know. So salute to y'all for that, man. That's dope, man. I gotta give a round of applause for that again. That's definitely good, because that's help shining the light on the community in a positive way. So what happens to these people who had these records? Do their record get expunged, or like what's going on with that?
Yeah, they expunged over 800,000 marijuana convictions in the state. You know what I mean? They expunged over 800,000 cases in the state of Illinois. The thing is though, like, yeah, that's cool. You know what I mean, that you expunge these cases, but you still got to hold yourself accountable, because the government, they self admitted that the war on drugs was bogus. You know what I'm saying? So with you admitting that, we got to repair those harms, and reparations is, of course, it's more than just compensation. The compensation part is a pillar of reparations, but we need the guarantee of, we need the acknowledgement, we need the guarantee of non-repetition. You know what I'm saying? We need the satisfaction. We need everything that's really involved with reparations according to the definition from the UN, from the United Nations.
That's right.
We need that to be fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's part of it. But then what about all these brothers who still, you know what I'm saying, they still all their life, you know what I'm saying, they was gone for 20 years because you used weed as a precursor to get into their car.
Yeah, and now their life is a huge part of their life has been wasted over a small charge, and they giving people like us football numbers while the opposite gets less numbers.
Yeah, fact.
Less time. So it's definitely crazy, and I agree with you, because for someone to have so much time spent in jail when they could have been out here living their life over something that y'all really admitted was bogus is beyond crazy.
That's wild work.
Crazy work.
Yeah, for real.
So, have you ever felt emotionally overwhelmed carrying community trauma?
Oh man.
And if so, how do you handle it?
Yeah, bro. Matter of fact, man, like, so for the last couple of years, so it's a body of water. So like I say, we build in Will County. Will County is kind of big, but I'm in Joliet, the city. I mean, it's Joliet. It's the third largest city in Illinois, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's this river that runs through Joliet. Shout out to Black History Month. Shout out to this being the 100th year of Black History Month. One of the things I learned is that Joliet has had a thriving Black community since 1852.
Yeah,
people came up here to work in the limestone quarries, and with those limestone quarries, they kind of dug out this canal, right, that we got out here. So it's like a river. It's a wide canal. It's a river that go through Joliet. Well, in that river, in a specific part within the same like half-mile radius, since 2018, there have been 18 Black and brown men pulled out of that water. The bodies of, you know what I'm saying, 18 Black and brown men pulled out of that water. And they are normally written off as an overdose, right? But that's very questionable, because it's like, so you saying people just go get high by themselves and fall in the water.
And we know they're not unaliving themselves. We know better than that.
Right. We know. I know some of the guys personally. I know they didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying, then you got to go to, you know, what the streets say. The streets always talk. You know what I mean? Streets say,
you know, that kind of sound like how they did Lake Lanier. You know, it was like 3,000 residents there. And they had farms and businesses and everything. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was like 1912. So,
yeah,
it's like a lot of that history was buried and hidden. And now that we have a lot of this stuff coming to light, it's actually happening all over. Like you just mentioned that. And we just found out about another young man that was found hanging on a tree.
In Georgia, yeah.
In Georgia, right. And we know this young man didn't kill himself. Come on now.
Just, you
know,
like,
it's getting bogus. They're trying to repeat history.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that they're not really understanding is we're not gonna go for it.
Nah.
And they didn't go for it then. And that's the picture they tried to depict too. Like nobody said anything or did anything, but that wasn't the case either, you know.
Not at all. And that's how they do. And that's my point. My point is that situation, man, and dealing with those families and everything else that was going on, bro, it overwhelmed me to the point that, like, you know what I'm saying, I had to really just take like 6-7 months, man, to get back grounded and kind of try to. I still answer calls and try to point people in the right direction, but I wasn't doing any, like, you know what I'm saying, upfront organizing at that time, because it just really overwhelmed me. Because when you see something so wrong and you know something wrong, you trying to help, but your understanding is different than the people who you're trying to help. They hurt.
So what did you do to distress yourself through all of that?
Man, I did some good and some bad ways of, like, you know what I'm saying, de-stressing. And so I tried to get, like, back in the gym. You know what I'm saying? I tried to kind of really, you know, take a break. I had to really kind of step back and take a break from the organizing. And then, you know, after a while, you know what I mean? After a while, I kind of leveled out, and then I got back to it. But like I said, it took about 6-7 months, though. 6-7 months, because all the while I'm still dealing with life. You know what I'm saying? I still got to pay my bills. I still got to, you know, I gotta make sure my kids straight, like all that, you know what I'm saying, and try to make sure they have a good understanding of the reasons why certain things are what they are. And yeah, so, you know, you're dealing with life at all them angles, and sometimes you gotta have that serenity.
Life.
Yeah, life definitely be life. You gotta have that serenity and know when to step back. You know, so yeah, that's basically what I did. I just had to take a step back in order to take a step forward. You know.
So how you separate your personal identity from the movement, or can you?
Man, it's crazy. You know, after a while, you're not really gonna be able to. You know what I'm saying? The business that we have now, my K&J Visionary, it was a different business at first. It was more commercial, not residential, but the work that I was doing, you know what I'm saying, some of the white folks we was doing business with, they ain't like that work that I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And these are larger contracts because it was union, you know, and they didn't like the work. And they might not come out directly and say they ain't like it, but they actually showed they ain't like it. And so the things that was going on, so they'd try to attack us on paper, and it just so the movement work, you know what I'm saying, interfered with my business. And then even personally, you know what I'm saying, it'd be, you know, I have received like crazy, man, I've received some crazy messages and threats, and you know what I'm saying, all that. Like, so, like, you know, if you're doing this, man, like, it's people the same way we organize and to free our people, you know what I'm saying, and break down certain systems, it's people that organize against us. They're gonna see our face, they'll put us in the watchdog groups, they'll watch us, study us. You know what I'm saying? They study us. People that sit on us, man, and know where you work, where you eat. They try to learn your habits. You know what I'm saying? And if they get brave enough, they may try to harm you. I mean, but that's just the work. We at war. It's a war.
That's the work. That's right. That's what we sign up for. And You just got to be prepared and stay dangerous, as I say.
Yeah, you
kind-hearted but dangerous.
Yeah,
you know.
But aware.
Yeah,
Right
yeah,
up.
very aware. All right, so who checks on you when you checking on everybody else?
Nikki. Nikki check on me, my kids. You know what I mean? Just family, man, and my loved ones. A lot of the people, man, that I have been organizing with, they done turned into family. You know, so Clyde call me, check on me. You know, the other my brothers and sisters that eat, they call and check on me. You know what I mean? But you know, that's it, just family and loved ones, man.
So let's talk a bit more about Eric Lurry.
For
those who are unfamiliar, tell people who Eric Lurry was.
Man, Eric Lurry was a black man. He is a black man that, you know, the police ultimately, man, took his life. Their actions caused for him not to be here. And you know, that's something that's a fight that, you know, people are still trying to make sure people are held accountable, and it's a lot to that. You know, it's a whole lot to that. I don't even know how to explain that, man. I don't even know how to explain that. Yeah, I don't even know how to explain it, because it's a lot to it, and you really, you know, fighting a fight like that, you really see like how that system works, you know what I'm saying, and how they protect each other in that system, and how like things that should make sense, just, you know what I'm saying, it don't make sense. Like, and things that don't make sense are what they try to rationalize, normalize, and, you know, how they hide stuff. It's crazy. That situation is really traumatizing. And I'm not saying even so much for me, but that man had children, bro. He had family. You know what I'm saying? He had a big family. And you know, they stole him from his people, man. And from everything he's doing, because he was a good guy. He was doing a lot. He did a lot for a lot of people.
So, like, what type of roadblocks did you have trying to obtain transparency in this moment with his death? Like, what would you say was like one of the biggest roadblocks that y'all had in that moment?
So like that fight, okay, so like that fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, really, like, Nicole would be able to, that's a fight she'd be able to, but I could tell you what I saw, because she's the one who was definitely on the front line. You know what I'm saying? Everything she doing is generated from that specific trauma. Because like I say, that is, you know, she is Eric's widow. But from what I've seen, man, all of the roadblocks, like, one of the things we tried to get established after that was a citizens review board for police misconduct. And so
which is well needed.
It is. And it's in it's some other cities that are close to us in Illinois that have citizen review boards, like Aurora. Aurora is another kind of large city in Illinois, and they got a citizen review board. And so we were trying to establish one, and they pushed us through the ringer for like a year and a half, and then, you know what I'm saying, and they still wouldn't do it. The police started targeting me, you know what I'm saying? I mean, but they pulled Nicole over one day in my car. I think they thought I was driving, you know what I'm saying? At the time, I ultimately ended up getting, I had got elected, and ultimately, man, from my actions, you know, calling for accountability, they did something called a quo revuento, which hadn't been done in like 60 years out here, to get me out of office.
Yeah. So let's talk about that more. Tell the people a bit more about what really, how that really went down. That was in my segment, but being as though that you brought it up, we can talk about that now and then go into something else. So tell the people a bit about that. What happened, and what are you doing now currently to fight back?
All right, so when we like when I say when we bought Clyde and Alonzo out here, so now we got those two orgs, you know what I'm saying, involved. Clyde got BLM, he is the founder of Black Lives Matter Lake County. Right now Black Lives Matter Grassroots Lake County, but he's the founder of Lake County, and then Alonzo was the lead organizer for Equity and Transformation. And so when we bought them out here, and then Clyde helped us start, he helped us get our organization founded. So he helped us get Black Lives Matter Will County founded. That was first. So after I was one of the founders of Black Lives Matter Will County, and then I was one of the founders. I helped found the Will County Democratic Black Caucus, right? Because I understood that we needed assistance socially, politically, and economically. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why they try to tear us down at. And so we founded the Democratic Black Caucus. And then people saw my work and they asked me to run for office with them for the township. And I'm like, hell, no, I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want nothing to do with being a politician. And they're like, well, the township, if you got, you know, I ran as a trustee. They like, if you get elected, you help decide where the assistance program funds are allocated. So I'm like, cool, I'll be able to help people. You know what I'm saying? So I ran, we won. So when we won, you know what I'm saying, I wasn't one of them bootlickers. You know what I'm saying? I ain't just sit back. You know, I was still doing everything I was doing before, right? And we were still calling for accountability. The state's attorney, we protested the state's attorney office, and he didn't like that. He you know, old white dude, he been sitting in office for like almost 30 years as the sitting state's attorney, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't like the challenge to his power. So he immediately started power mapping me. He immediately started reaching out to people I affiliate with, my labor union, the Democratic Black Caucus, and anybody else who he seen interact with me. He reached out to them to see, you know, what side they would stand on. Right?
Was this man a Republican?
No, he's a Democrat.
Wow.
He is a Democrat who currently has been taking money from the Trump-funded Republicans.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. But so he did that, and then simultaneously, while he was power mapping me, this young lady was out. We protested him in September. In October, it was a family, man, that was out trick-or-treating, man. And this white dude got into it with the mother of the kids, bro. And he started calling her all kind of super old school racist names. You know what I'm saying? He called her a coon. But he cracked her skull. He fractured her skull with a fire poker, a big iron fire poker, right? Why he was calling her, you know what I'm saying, racial slurs. And so in Illinois, when you doing something, if you commit a felonious act of harm towards a person while you saying racial slur, that's a hate crime. And so the state's attorney office didn't charge it as a hate crime at first. So we had to form other actions against that. We pulled up at that man's house a couple times, and you know what I'm saying, had other actions, and they eventually charged him with a hate crime. And when they charged him with a hate crime on it was like a Friday, that Monday they reached out to the township and was like, hey, if Karl don't step down, resign from office, then it's gonna be a problem. Now he could do it quietly and we won't make it an issue, or we can make him leave. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so I'm like, man, I'm from Missouri. Show me. I ain't really from Missouri, but show me though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, don't talk about it.
Yeah,
about
do
it, because I ain't scared.
Right. You feel me? I ain't got what I got to lose, man. We have nothing to lose but our chains. That's it.
That's right.
And so
tell them again, say it again.
We have nothing to lose,
but our chains.
For real. I say. And yeah, man. So they did that. So they filed their court. We went to get me out of office. We went through that process. I lost in the circuit court. We went to the appellate level. We kicking a. Can we curse on here? Is this a non-cursing station?
No, but you can. I know you can figure it out. Say what you need to say without going too crazy.
I don't want you to lose nothing on here, man. No fun in that. So I'm gonna keep it clean. But yeah, so were taking them on an appellate level, and we were whooping them on an appellate level, and they heard the same things that we were hearing, you know. And a week before my appellate hearing, where the ruling would have overturned, it would have changed the law for the whole state as far as people with prior felony convictions being able to run for municipal offices. Because like in Illinois, I could run for like a state rep. I could run for, you know what I'm saying, a senator. I could run for governor. But you telling me I can't hold an office as a trustee? You know what I'm saying? On a township board? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So it would have changed the law for the whole state. And so what they did was strategically, man, they charged me feloniously with like a 16-count indictment of financial crimes. And so right now, that was December of 2022. We were actually on our way to do our Christmas event for the kids, to do a Christmas toy and coat drive, you know what I'm saying, under Nicole's foundation, Justice for Wives Foundation, every Christmas. And so we were on the way to do that, and my attorney called me and was like, "Hey man, did you hear that you had a warrant?" And I'm like, "What?" Like, nah. And he like, "Yeah, you got like a 16-count felonious indictment on you." And I'm like, "It's crazy. That's crazy." So we've been fighting that since then, and now we at a point where we found out that what they did was actually a crime. The way they charged me was actually a crime. The information they used and the way they used it, you know what I'm saying, it was criminal in nature. And so I have a motion in that's going to be heard. I think it's March. I think we go back March 18th. If I win that motion, the deputy state's attorney, who is the one who went through with the information for my indictment, he would get charged with a Class B misdemeanor for what he did, and he would be ineligible to work for any state office ever again. You know, for what he did. Well, so that's how we fighting that right now.
I'm standing behind you, Karl, and you know you got my support, man.
Appreciate it, man.
You know you got my support all day. So, you know, anything you need, let me know, you know, and any way I can help to bring that out to the people more, just let me know. You know, the people are going to hear this. 105.7 the phase, they going to hear it in Atlanta. They going to hear it in Chicago. They going to hear it in North Carolina. They going to hear it in DC. They going to hear it in Philly. Love. So this is definitely going to be heard. So let me ask you, man, what role does civic engagement play in real change?
Man, civic engagement is the force, the driving force behind the change. So if people don't understand what civic engagement is, the best example I could give you is 2020. You know what I'm saying? 2020, when people took to the streets, whether you even actually knew what was going on or what reason you was taking to the streets or not, that is a form of civic engagement. They used to teach civic classics in high school, but now, you know, they doing that phase where they dumbing the curriculum down, so they want all the kids to be stupid again, and they cutting stuff out. But they used to teach
they want less politicians that look like us. That's why. Yeah,
you know, and so the civics class is not there, but civics is the equal of gas in a car. If you don't have civic engagement, you know what I mean. We took 150 people to the Capitol building. What day was that? Wednesday, a couple days ago, right? And that's civic engagement, so that people see we are coming not only with understanding, but we coming with force. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you get your point
across.
Real
presence.
Yeah, that's a real. You get your point across like that, and that's so necessary. And if we don't have that, if there's no civic engagement, if there's no solidarity for civic engagement, you know what I mean? No understanding, you know, you got to have a common understanding, man. And if that's not there, you're not going to win.
Yeah, for that to happen, folks, you got to organize.
You got to. Yeah.
Remember that. None of that can happen. He just said he had 150 people out that had to be put together, and it had to be organized in a way where it could be effective. All right. So why is independent oversight crucial?
Oh, because so like out here, so like where I'm at, so they got this thing out here. It's called, so I'm in Will County. We got a neighboring county called Grundy County. So when the police have a loss of life, right? When it's a police involved loss of life, when it's state-sanctioned violence out here, they don't let the correct procedure would be for the Illinois State Police to do the independent investigation on what happened, because they are the state police and they're not a police from a local municipality. So you know what I'm saying? It's not like they actually working together. It's kind of different. It's a different jurisdiction, right? Yeah. But what they have here is called the Will Grundy Major Crimes Task Force, right? Mm-hmm. Who investigate the when the police murder somebody. So it's just, if it happens in, say it happens in Joliet, then the lead investigator would be from Romeoville or from Bolingbrook. But the thing is, these are still, all these people are friends. They all work together. They all visit the same bars. It's all within the same 20, 30 mile radius.
Yeah,
so
you
like
need somebody that don't know these people to investigate.
They don't care that your kids is on the same AAU team playing soccer together. They don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? All they care about is, you know, the facts. And so that's why independent oversight, like with anything, is super important. You know what I'm saying? With anything.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah.
All right.
Investigate.
Hey, Karl, we're going to take a break real quick, folks. I hope y'all enjoying this conversation on Stirring the Pot. We stirring and we giving y'all information. We cooking up, y'all. Keep it locked in. 105.7 The Phase, Dollar Radio, Hollywood TV, Hollywood Radio, Going In Radio. We here. Keep it locked in.
If I kept a penny from every time you told a lie, I'd be rich. If there were no sunlight to wake me up in the morning and I miss my day, you'd be the one to blame. I spend almost every day with you and still feel lonely. Boy, I cook for you, clean up, rearrange the room, dressed up. You don't even notice. Feeling like you're always just a beat behind my heart. You never seem to pick up the pace. Am I just imagining you and I've never been? Don't tell me this is all in my head. I'm in love alone. I feel I'm in this thing on my own. You're standing right there, but you're oh so gone. Facing the fact I'm in love alone. In love alone. If I kept a teardrop every time you made me cry, who'd survive? It seems like every day you're back and forth, you're in and out, we're going down. Love shouldn't be this way. My mind's playing tricks on me, writing scripts and shit, telling my heart don't believe what my conscience said. These ain't good butterflies, I'm angry, got me all anxious. I know I've wasted my time being patient. I'm feeling like you're always just a beat behind my heart. You never seem to pick up the pace. you. Damn, I've been a fool so long. Felt you slip, band-aided it, then kept moving on. Mrs. Fool for you. Damn, I've been a fool so long. Felt you slip, band-aided it, then kept moving on. I'm in love alone. I feel I'm in this thing on my own. You're standing right there, but you're oh so gone. Facing the fact I'm in love alone. In love alone. I'm in love alone. I feel I'm in this thing on my own. You're standing right there, but you're oh so gone. Facing the fact I'm in love alone. In love alone.
All right, we here, y'all. I'm sitting here with my guest, Karl Ferrell. Hey, can y'all hear me out there?
I can hear you.
Can y'all hear me? You can hear me, bro?
Yep. Yeah.
All right, we good. We good. All right, I'm sitting here with my guest, y'all. Hollywood Radio, Dollar Radio, Going In Radio, 105.7 The Fees. We moving and booming. We stirring the pot as always. And I'm sitting here with my guest, Karl Ferrell. We chilling and we just, we talking activism. We talking grassroots work. We talking about putting in work. And we talking about what it takes to withstand doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope y'all paying attention. And I hope y'all getting this information and it's useful to you. All right. So.
Hey, real quick, Tig.
What's up?
Hey, shout out to that video. And then I don't even know who that was, but I want to find that video again. That was kind of dope.
Oh, that's Rosie Bonds.
Yeah.
Rosie Bonds is a writer. She's wrote for Little Mo and a whole bunch of people in the industry. She writes jingles for commercials like Wawa and everything. She's a very talented sister, and she is the sister of P&B Rock.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, she's the very first person that came on my show and got my show started.
Oh, that's dope. And that song was dope too. That video had a lot of symbolism in it, man. I liked it.
Yeah, she's very talented. She's awesome, man. She's a rock star. It's my dear friend. She's cool. So go ahead. What else was you about to say?
No, that's it. That's it. I just want to shout out to that video. That's dope. I'm gonna have to look that up.
And the song, that Corner Boy song, that was her brother, P&B Chiz.
Oh, for real?
P&B Rock's other brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you talking about that? They from Philly or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one was nice.
She's from Philly too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They whole family just talented.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving be crazy at their house, right? I get it.
I can imagine what early mornings was like.
Yeah. Real.
But yeah, man. I try to keep it on the up and up with some good music, with some good messages. I still bring let the streets talk as well, but I have my moments where I want to just put this type of symbolism out for people to get an understanding. Like, we're more than just the street side of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're very creative beings and we're highly intelligent. So it has to reflect through the music.
Right.
All right. Thanks. So what policies need immediate reform in Will County?
Oh man. So Man, so the police, so the attorney general investigated the police department out here, the Joliet Police Department, for 3 years, and they released their report, and their report was crazy. Like coming from, because you know the attorney general is the highest legislative, highest executive branch, right, in the land.
Yes.
That's the highest but before you go to the feds, before you go to the U.S. attorney, the attorney general is the highest prosecuting force in the land. The attorney general said that their report said that the Joliet Police Department operates with prejudice and excessive force towards Black and brown people. They ignore sexual assaults and domestic violence against Black women at a really, really high rate. You know what I'm saying? They normalize. There's no accountability within that office. Unilateral.
You know it's all women now.
Yeah.
But continue.
They just, it's crazy what that report was saying, right? So right now that definitely is the thing that should be addressed, but it's hard because we need the Department of Justice right now to come make some, indictments on these police officers that, are documented with excessive force or just bogus behavior, who committed crimes, who the police officer who it's been documented that they committed crimes in that report, they should be booked. But the DOJ right now under the Orange Man, he's not doing that. He's not doing any. The DOJ is not doing anything involving the police, any investigations into police, because remember, their thing is they want full immunity for the police, as well as for like ICE agents. They want full immunity for them. So right now, that's something that needs to be changed. That's kind of the main thing. It's no accountability above state sanctions right now in every state.
And it needs to be some accountability going on, but as we can see how everything is playing out right now with the Senate as a whole, and with the AG as a whole, we know what's going on right now. There's a lot of hiding going on and protection for the complexion of the collection, like Paul Mooney used to say.
Facts.
But I agree with you there. There needs to be a lot of accountability there so that these people could be held accountable for their crimes. Because if it was us, we would be getting football numbers all the way to the grave.
Yeah, we'd be smoking.
And that's a fact.
Yeah, of course. Same thing with the Epstein report, but I ain't even gonna get all off into that. But that was a
I
whole
could talk about that all day, man.
It'd be some heads rolling right now if that was a whole bunch of Black people in that report, man.
Absolutely.
So different. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what privilege is, though. When people talk about that privilege, that's what that privilege is. Like, it's that you could come out with a report saying that y'all was eating and raping kids and stuff, and like nobody's being held accountable. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I agree.
Crazy. R. Kelly in jail right now.
Right.
Hey, but
and that's how you know that it's really about protecting the people that's higher up, And it was one of these senators, I forgot who it was, but he came out and said, if we arrest everybody that's accountable, the whole system would collapse.
Fact.
Well, let it collapse then.
Let it fall and burn.
Let it collapse so we can restart and the people can really get the things that they need and deserve.
Right.
That's what we need out here. We need real accountability out here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because like we just said, if it was us, we'd be booked. Book them.
Book.
And I'm going to say it like a cop would say it. Book them.
We need
straight like that.
Straight like that. We need system change. And that's what it is. But that's also why, because we see, like, I mean, man, like realistically, like, you know what I'm saying? We've been, this fight has been going on forever, man, since the beginning of this country. You know what I mean? With the pillage and murder of the indigenous people that was here,
right.
and the loss of their identity. So that a lot of us don't even know that, like, a lot of us really come from indigenous folks. just 30 years ago, everybody used to be like, man, my grandma got some Indian in her. That's why I help. You know what I'm saying? So like it's the whole loss of culture and everything. That is the culture of this. This is a conquering culture in this country, right? And so we've been fighting this fight forever, you know what I'm saying, trying to get some kind of justice. And we at like the pinnacle of that, because it's like, how much further can we go? How many more times can you slap us and kill us and then tell us it's okay? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How much
Before
more
we
damage
just
can
no longer start to accept that? Well,
right.
we already don't. Look what we doing out here as an organization as a whole.
Right.
We're the organization that's just not going for that.
Not going. And that's
people are aware now, and I think that's
Yeah.
such a beautiful thing, you know.
And
I'm happy to be a part of this organization, man. And y'all about to see a whole lot of groundwork from your boy Tig. I'm just about to let you know, bro. And I thank you for that advice that you gave me when I called you for that advice. You know, being the new blood and doing this work, because I used to be one way and now my mindset has changed. I thank God that I'm ready for this fight. You know what I'm saying? Because like you just said, it'll be days that it'll be stressful, but I'm just gonna walk with God during those days. You feel me?
Yeah. When you asked that earlier, that's what I wanted to get to that in my answer too, but that's part of it, man. You got to be spiritually grounded as well. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your spiritual grounding is, you got to be spiritually grounded, because this deeper than, you know what I'm saying, just going outside trying to start a protest or action. This is real work. So, man, I appreciate you. And it's definitely the time, with us not being able to reach out for help, this is the time where we gotta organize communities. Hard times force people to organize, though.
That's right.
So
we've always been resilient as a race, though, when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just watching Jesse Jackson when he was younger the other day, you know, when we did that, it showed me that it's been going on forever. So it ain't never going to stop as long as people like us continue to fight.
Right.
And, you know, we just need to step up in a real way. That's all.
Real talk.
So here's my next question. How does bureaucracy shield misconduct?
So when we speak about systemic issues, it's a complete system that works in unison with each other, with different moving parts, right? But they work in unison to either conceal a problem or have those problems work so effectively that it's only a problem to the people that it affects. You know what I mean? Not trying to double talk or talk over myself, but so that's the whole bureaucracy part. If you have a state's attorney, like state's attorneys and coroners, like we can get into that, because I just recently found out doing the work, you know what I'm saying, within the last couple of years, I never knew that the coroner is the only person that can arrest the sheriff. So if you have a state's attorney, or you know, in different states, the districts different, so it might be a district attorney. If you got a DA or SA, and then you got a coroner who is following a lead, and then something happens, it's a loss of life, you know what I'm saying, it's some state-sanctioned violence and somebody gets murdered by the police, but your state's attorney tells the coroner, hold all the evidence, don't release the coroner's report, you know what I mean, and you know, don't respond to any FOIA request or anything. And that coroner is working to conceal this evidence while the state's attorney generates a false narrative. After like 90 days of the media, you know what I'm saying, running that false narrative, the people have already made their mind. It don't matter what's in that coroner's report.
Yeah.
After 90 days of lies, people just believe it because they having conversations within communities. You know, this is what happened. This is what the state's attorney, this is what the newspaper said. The newspaper got that information from what the state's attorney told whoever the media agent was for the police to, you know what I'm saying, to tell. And so
They're
they
all
run with the
aligned
lie.
and connected, so they connect the dots like this.
Yep.
So they can tell whatever story they want. That's why you need medias like us, like James Farr and Dominique DePrima, and you know, all around in our, you know, communities to tell the story straight like it is, because leave it up to them, they'll spin it whatever way they want, you know.
This is very important.
That's hard within itself though, because that's a whole different beast that you fighting, but it's not really hard when you organize.
Facts.
And that's how I look at it. You know what I mean? So you know what's up. You know what time it is, just like I do. All right. So how important is voting at the local level? And we see right now what he's trying to do. I was just looking at what the Orange Man is trying to do in Texas with the voting right now. And now, mind you, I'm not Democrat, I'm not Republican, I'm independent all day. But I do see what's going on with them trying to block the Democratic vote in Texas. So explain that. How important is voting at the local level?
Well, like how I just mentioned the state's attorney and the coroner. You know what I'm saying? If you got the coroners voted in, right? That's a democratic process. They elected through a democratic process, as well as the state's attorney, or if you got a district attorney, they voted in, as well as your judges. You know, so you gotta like we have been against so much for so long that you know, it got to a point where, you know, it was black people used to get killed for trying to vote. So killed or beat or get the dog sicked on them, or you know what I'm saying, just all kind of stuff. So like a lot of people, man, 70 years ago was just started telling their family like, hey, you know, it ain't worth it. And that became, you know, culture.
The norm.
Yeah, inherited. That was an inherited response. Like, nah, we cool. Our vote don't matter anyway. You know, but it does.
And it's affected us to this day, because even the younger generation still think this way when they don't really realize that their vote definitely matters. And
definitely,
the more of us show out, the more we can defeat this regime that wants to keep us under, you know, them or whatever way they want to call it. You know, I don't look at it as we're under, because if they have to fight so hard to do everything that they're doing, we top dog for real.
Yeah. And that's I really want the shorties to understand that the judges, like everybody who can directly affect your life, you know what I'm saying, around you, most of those people are voted into office. The sheriff, the judges. If you look into the judge's background, you have the free will to look and see, does your judge support, you know what I'm saying, does your judge support ICE? Does your judge support things that are not beneficial to you, or that would directly cause a detriment to you and your way of life? And you can see that, you know what I'm saying? You have the free will. And then if you let these people get voted in the office, at the end of the day, you can't say nothing if the judge give your homie 100 years for, you know what I'm saying, a gun charge or something like that. Like, because you allowed it to happen. So that's part of civic engagement too. And that's also, you know, part of the democratic process. Like, we have the ability to go out here and vote, you know what I'm saying? That's imperative. Like, so, you know, they just got to understand that. The shorties got to understand that, because we getting away from it.
I know that they get a kick out of blocking bills, you know, so that's going to continue as long as it can.
Yeah. And we just got to fight against it with our organizers. We got to organize and organize. And that's what power is. You know, power is the ability to define phenomena and make it act in a design manner. And that's what we got to do. You know what I'm saying, with the organizing. Make sure the shorties get back out there and make sure it's an understanding of what's really going on. Yeah.
Yep. So Karl, you do credit repair too, right?
Yeah. I ain't even mentioned that.
So tell the people a bit about that and how you got into that, man.
Man, I'm a representative for Nove. Nove is a black-owned company that has a lot of different services. They have a business startup, credit repair, tax services. Man, it's so much other stuff. But so one of the services they provide is credit repair in two ways. One of them is an AI service that they use. Well, both of them are kind of pretty much generated by AI responses. One of them you send off the letters yourself. The other one, they'll do everything. It's different costs for both of those. But yeah, all that information is on my. I think it's all on my social media. It's on my social media handles.
Yeah.
Which is just my name. The name is going across the screen. You can look me up on Facebook with that, or you can look up Mr. Ferrell 24 on Instagram.
Let me put your name back up there because I had Going In Radio going across now, but let me take care of that, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Right there, Jeff. Just look me up on Facebook and you'll see everything. I think, matter of fact, I got one of the Nove posts linked at the top. So if you're interested.
So why is credit so important for those that don't know?
Man, this country is based on credit. This country based on credit. So like if you don't have established credit, you're not really gonna be able to live as easily you can with the quality of life that you may be looking for. You know what I'm saying? So credit is essential with purchasing your home, or getting a car. And hard cash deals is like crazy. So like if you go somewhere and you got $20,000 and you actually spend $20,000 cash, then that's only because you're financially illiterate, and you can't get rich like that. And even Rockefeller said it. Rockefeller whole thing was you can't get rich with your own money. You get rich off of other people's money, and that's that's what credit is. So you got to be able to utilize that. Yeah.
All right. So for those that don't know, get with Brother Karl and he can get you straight. You heard?
Yes, sir.
Straight like that.
Straight like that. Straight like that.
All right, man. So do you feel like people underestimate local politics? And if so, what could they do to get a better understanding of politics?
I think people definitely fail to even acknowledge local politics, but your local politics is crazy, but that's everything directly around you. So like I said before, the only reason I ran for office is because I would have something to do with the assistance program, like the rental assistance program, the bill assistance program, and like where that money was allocated, right? And so that's local politics. That's somebody who you see every day, who got something to do with helping people. And so that's what most local politics is. And the things that they pass in the local politics, the job, the road projects, that they pass, the corporations that they allow to come locally. You know what I mean? That's going to affect people. It's going to affect the amount of jobs that are there. It's going to affect the quality of life as far as like transportation on your roads. If you breathe in a whole bunch of bad air, from several hundred trucks riding down your street, it's all of that
people
is
getting sick from it.
Environmental change, like all that is controlled by local politics.
Yeah.
And so
I think it was engineered to keep the neighborhoods the way they are as well, just so they could profit from healthcare.
Always.
They are the majority of the shareholders of Medicare and everything like that. So I agree.
Yeah, it's all about this whole everything in this country, especially everything that's bad. That people like us is based on capitalism. So it's a dollar. It's some money behind it somewhere. You know what I mean? So like even with the local politics, if you follow the dollar, you'll find something every time. And most of the time to be something bad. You gotta follow the dollar and where the dollar stops. And that'll be the reason why your police aren't taking the correct actions. That'll be the reason why your local politicians are helping hide things, that are wrong, You just got to follow the dollar and see where it stops. It's all capitalism.
Definitely.
Yeah. So try to get involved. You know what I'm saying? If you care about your community and you care about the little brothers and sisters that's growing up, man, and you want to see them do better, you got to get involved with what's going on. You got to know and be knowledgeable about what's going on around you. You know what I'm saying? Ignorance is bliss. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So, yeah. It's a burden to know, but you gotta get involved, or else you gotta either part of the solution or you part of the problem.
And when they say knowledge is power, it's definitely true.
Knowledge is definitely power.
It's definitely power. You know, so use your power. You know, don't be afraid to use it. Whatever way you learn, go out and use it out to the masses. You know, don't be afraid to put in that work.
Right.
Just do it.
And since it's Black History Month, and you just said knowledge is power, Frederick Douglass had a quote that ended with, knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave.
That's right.
And that's real talk.
That's right. So, you know, I'm bouncing around a bit.
Yeah, it's all good though. I'm enjoying.
Do you feel like activism creates hypervigilance?
No, I don't. I don't think activism creates hypervigilance. So I gotta ask for clarity on the question. So activism or organizing?
Activism.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't really think you create hypervigilance. I think the activists, people who just label themselves as activists, right? Mm-hmm. They really want to get involved, you know what I'm saying? And they really want to do some things, but I still think they are constrained by their knowledge. And so an activist is not gonna last as long as an organizer. Anyway, they're gonna burn out too. How we was talking about burnout.
Yeah.
Activists gonna burn out because it's way harder to, and I know a guy like this every time something happens, I don't care what's going on, he out there, he will have an action by himself. You know what I'm saying? He would do that, you know, but he also understands that's dangerous. So an activist being hyper vigilant, and they, you know, the activists see that's dangerous for them on their part. You're gonna make us a target real quick. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might try to poke you with a dirty syringe or something. Like, you got to be careful. So I do think it creates a state of mind where, you know what I'm saying, they hope for change. A lot of activists hope for like immediate change, instant gratification, right? And that's what I'm saying.
It doesn't work that way.
Does not. And that's why it's the difference between the activist and the organizer. You know what I'm saying? The organizer kind of tries. His goal is to create movements. Activist goal is to create a moment. You know what I'm saying? But even within that moment,
we want a movement before a moment.
We want a movement. Yeah, right. You feel me? So yeah, no, I don't think it creates hypervigilance. I do think activism creates organizers in the long run. Once somebody see like, oh man, maybe I gotta sit down and rethink this.
Yeah. I think that was MLK. He started as an activist, but it became something more. That's how I look at MLK.
Yeah, I agree. What's that? The SCNCC, right?
Huh?
The Southern what was the SCC? That group, the Southern Christian. I think it's the SCNCC. It was an organization that he was working with. When they started organizing for the bus boycott.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about, but I do not know the abbreviation.
I can't. I know it's something, but I think around that time, like that's when he it changed.
It became something bigger and became something more, and I agree with you there. That's how it should start for most of us, you know, and I hope that it already did for you. I hope that I get to put in work to the point where it's like that as well. I just pray that the work is just accepted by the people in the town that I'm in, because I'm in a small town, man.
Yeah.
And it needs it. It needs it. So here's my next question to you. Is there a stigma around mental health and organizing spaces? And if so, what's your take on it?
Stigma as far as like what you mean stigma?
Talking about mental health.
Yeah, that's a thing, you know what I'm saying, in my circles. And like I say, that's very carefully guarded because it's an understanding that, like, you know what I mean, like trauma, everybody can't just bounce back from seeing trauma. If in the spaces we in, like even just for example, in some of our spaces, Tig, like we see, you know what I'm saying, we got people from all these different states, man, who may upload, download, or, you know, text or add to the group a visual or a link with a visual of some crazy like event that happened, some form of state-sanctioned violence that happened.
Yep, and that was actually going to be building up to my next question. So continue what you're saying, bro. Go ahead. We on the same time.
So seeing that, like you're not really meant. God ain't really make us. Our creator, whoever you look at as the creator, we weren't created to see those visuals, you know what I'm saying, as frequently as we do. So that affects you. Like we weren't created to have to mentally know that something is wrong, and then to go and take your energy and organize against what is wrong. You know what I'm saying? And you doing it for years.
God did say that if there isn't anyone speaking up on the injustice, that you should.
Exactly.
So that's where we come in.
And I feel that, and I agree. I feel like we do God's work. You know what I'm saying? And because it's a lot of things that align with the different books, and not just the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Not just the Bible, but with the Quran too. Like it's a lot of things that align with the different books. You know what I'm saying? As far as fighting for people, man, what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. But mentally though, like if you do not know how to take those breaks, man, it will break you. You know what I'm saying? It will break you because you're not meant to see, you know, such things just all the time, like just over and over. It just come in. You know what I mean? It just keep coming. It don't stop.
It requires a certain amount of empathy and emotional intelligence for others than yourself.
What? Let's lift up that brother in Grand Rapids and his family. What's his name? Is his name Damon? What's that brother in Grand Rapids name, man?
Let me take a look.
Because I just saw that video, and that video disturbed me a lot. It's crazy. Oh, and Tig, you froze on me.
I was trying to get his name, but I can't get to the app right now.
All right.
We doing this through the phone and through the StreamYard. I don't have signal on my laptop because I don't want my laptop hacked. You know what we do is top confidential.
Yeah. Man, if any of what you say, did you get his name or not? You said
no, I couldn't get it because I don't want to. Like you said, once you said I froze, I came back to the room.
I got people watching. Hey, somebody watching. Hey, sis, if I sent you, just text me. Text me the name of the brother who we just lost in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Grand Rapids, Michigan.
I'm about to look right now. Hold on, give me 1 second. His name was. Okay, here it is. And he was 21 years old. Now, they're not saying his name here on this.
Yeah. Dang, well, my apologies to the ancestors because he one of the ancestors now, but that seeing stuff like that, man, just over and over, like that creates the need for Black mental wellness. Like, so in our spaces, so we make sure we got Black mental wellness. As a matter of fact, we have a community garden where we have space just to go get grounded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to go get grounded, man. Just take your shoes off, walk on the ground, put your bare feet on the ground, you know, take some breaths and ground yourself, man, with nature, and let the energy of the earth move through your body so you could release the negativity. As well as like yoga, like we do yoga sometimes, group yogas. You know, I just suggest that, like, and that can kind of like keep the stigma away of like, man, they gonna go crazy.
Kyle Bassinger. That's his name. I found it.
Yeah. He's
21 years old.
You said Kyle?
Yes, Kyle Bassinger.
Now no, see, that's somebody else. That's how frequently this happens.
In Marietta, Georgia, Cobb County.
No, that's the brother that got hung. I'm talking about Damon Bradley. His name Damon Bradley. That's the guy who got assassinated in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the other day, man. Last week.
Oh, in Michigan. Okay.
Yeah, they shot him. They had the dog was biting him, and they kept telling him don't move. And he had his hands behind him. He's laying on his stomach with his hands behind him, but the dog was shaking him. They shot him it looked like they shot him, I think, 3 times in the back of his head. You know what I'm saying? So seeing that, like, you see that over and over and over. Nah, you got to know how to stay grounded, man. And if you don't, doing this work. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it's the same way with like police officers, and that's why it's a lot of police officers that's not right. It's a lot of police officers not right because they see the trauma. They don't necessarily. Man, I seen a police officer out here. He shot this dude, man. He was involved with an officer involved there, and he's supposed to be off work for like a certain amount of days until he sees, you know what I'm saying, like a counselor and stuff. They got a process they go through. I've never seen any proof that man was off work the amount of time that's required. So and he is a problem officer. This is an officer that shot multiple people. This is an officer that has multiple excessive force lawsuits against him, federal lawsuits.
Yeah, they put them right back out on the street, man.
Yeah, and they crazy because they see this stuff every day. You know what I'm saying? They see kids that are victims of abuse. They see stuff that drive them crazy, and they don't. You know what I'm saying? It's who's watching their mental health, who's watching their mental wellness, and then they out there. The man that shot the officer that killed Sonya Massey. You know what I'm saying? He was crazy.
Yeah, he was a problem. Sure. And then he said he was going to do it. He shouldn't have even had a job still.
Man, he shouldn't have had a badge. He
shouldn't have never had a badge to begin with. Like, what?
Yeah. That's crazy. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it with the mental health, man. We gotta protect our mental health, man.
It's important.
Yeah. G Herbo is the album PTSD. It was important for him to do that because, you know what I'm saying, just to have some of the shorties understand that like the things you see and go through are not normal. This is not normal in any other culture. You know what I'm saying? It's not normal. But it's normalized.
It is normalized,
but it's not normal. This is not how it's supposed to be. And you can't expect somebody, you know, my son lost his first friend when he was like 8, 9 years old. You know what I mean? Was playing with the little boy and found out later on, you know what I'm saying? An hour or so after he was playing with the little boy, some guys called him in the alley, man. They was on his daddy head and they shot that little boy like 8, 9 times, assassinated him, killed him, murdered him. But it's my son's best friend. And so the school didn't supply any like trauma counseling for the kids. How you just normalize
it's hard
that.
to bounce back from that in some cases.
From a young age. So we go through things in our communities, other communities might not necessarily go through. Not here, not in this country. You know what I'm saying? The Black and brown communities go through stuff, man, other people just would not understand. And so it's important, man. That mental health aspect is very important. You got to stay grounded.
I agree. And that's why, even as, outside of being an organizer, I try to share my story as much as possible, being shot in the head myself, being shot in the head, losing a piece of my brain and still pushing through. So being honest, when I first got shot, my mindset wasn't on I need to change. I went right back to what I knew. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it took me realizing the trauma that I went through to realize that it wasn't normal. Because I acted like it was normal.
Right.
Like it didn't mean anything. Like, oh yeah, I'm hit. And look, I'm about to just go right back to what I know. But people was Tig, look at your situation, bro. Like, get out the street. Like, what is you doing? Like, and at that time, I just wasn't trying to hear that. But I realized the older I began to get, like, this ain't what it is. It's not the mentality I should be having. Like, what am I doing? Like, let me change that. Let me get out of that and let me get right. And honestly, like you said, the mental health aspect was the thing that changed it. Really thinking differently than what I was used to because I was programmed.
Right. Facts.
You gotta break the code, bro. Like, and that's what happens to a lot of us once we wake up and realize who we really are. Once you get knowledge of who you are, everything changes.
Facts. I love the way you just put that too, man. That's truth.
And that's what happened for me.
Yeah. Yeah, your story.
So taking care of your mental health is important.
Your story is amazing, bro. Like, I was gonna I wanna do a podcast just so I could bring you on there to talk about that, because that's amazing for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you explained it to me the first time, when I first heard about it, I'm like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? How did you heal from that? Like, how did you heal from that even like to today to be able to
Honestly, it took me 8 years. I'm still healing, to be honest, because life is still life. And like, I just lost my mom in September. So even with that, like, it took a lot of therapy though. The one thing that a lot of us in our community put a stigma on, like, it's not cool to talk about what you've been through. The moment I did that is the moment it started to open my mind and unlock things, man.
Yeah.
And that's just being as real as I can be to you. Like, that's as real as I can be to you, bro. It helped me in a lot of ways. And then on top of that, like I said, my spirituality. And then I just had to make some decisions as a man for myself on who I wanted to be and what I wanted to show my sons. And that was the main thing for me.
Yeah.
You feel me? So it was one of two choices. Am I going to show them this, or am I going to show them the other side of me that's deep down inside that I had locked in for a long time?
Right.
So I had to let him out. That's all.
Man, that's right there, that's growth. You know what I'm saying? And that's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for a lot of years, it was hard, but it could be done. And I'm saying that to say, for a lot of our men and young men, it could be done for you too. So if y'all hearing this, don't be afraid to take that leap to change, man. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
Yeah. And sometimes it's as simple as just understanding that like, man, it's a lot of, we've been lied to so much that we think that what's real is, you know what I'm saying? What we consider real, it ain't fake. Real. It's destructive. And so, you know what I'm saying? If you look around and once you realize that, like, man, nobody, like the Willie Lynch letter, right? And the systems that were put in place to make us hate us are very effective, and it's working. When you realize this, that most of the crimes in our community are crimes of people being impoverished. You know what I'm saying? Whether you hustling to get up out the hood, whether you get into it with somebody because you hustling, or, you know what I'm saying, over $1,000 or $1,500, like, these are impoverished. These are crimes of poverty, man. Thanks. Everybody in the same boat. And once you understand what created that system of why, you got to ask the question, why is it a hood? Why is the hood here with the hood problems? Where did this come from? And then once you learn that this came by design, people created the hood.
Yeah.
People created the hood to keep people that look like me and you from growing and being where we should be. It was illegal for us to move to the suburbs. We weren't part of the Great New Deal that built this country. We weren't part of that. We was excluded
And
from
even
that.
like now, erasing the history of unity.
Facts.
That played a big part of it too. You know, now younger people are starting to learn about the Panthers and Jesse Jackson and Martin Luther King, because some of them, like you just said, some didn't even know who Jesse Jackson was. Yeah. And that, had me baffled, to be honest. Like, what?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like 30 kids in there. We did so it's an org out here that we I jam with, man. They call New School Leaders. And they what they do is, man, they do a free like basketball program like year round for the shorties, because they understand that, anything dealing with money is bad, right? Because money is gonna create classism. So like the free basketball program is for the kids to help them develop their skills, so they can compete with the kids that's getting money to go to the AAUs. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, everybody had a park in their neighborhood, man, and the coldest hoopers gonna be at the park all day. But nowadays, whoever got the biggest bag is going to the best AAU team, and that's starting to be a thing, man. Like most of the NBA players, they can afford to send their sons to them AAU teams. They're super cold. They doing the travel. They getting the best looks from the colleges and stuff. But long story short, man, we did the Black History program for them today, and I was asking the kids about Jesse Jackson. None of them knew who Jesse Jackson was.
Yeah.
And regardless of whatever people, the stigma on Jesse, regardless of that, he was there, he'd been there, he'd been fighting for us for a long time. And none of the kids even knew who he was, dog. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a lot of work. Crazy work.
It's a lot of work to do. For real.
So let me ask you, I got 2 more questions before we get out of here.
All right.
How do you groom the next generation of organizers?
Yeah, that part. So I think it's relevance. I think it's trying to get the younger generation to understand, because technology created a huge gap. You know what I'm saying? Me, myself, I'm 45, and I'm just understanding that Black folks was only able to go to the bank, you know what I'm saying, under the Fair Housing Act 11 years before I was born. So 56 years ago to date. You know what I'm saying? Black folks go to the bank and not get turned away because they was Black from the bank.
But they still getting turned away to this day.
On paper, you feel me? But on paper, it became illegal 56 years ago, which was only 11 years before I was born. The kids, my youngest child is in that generation where everything, he's 13, everything his whole life has been complete, instant gratification, all technology right here in his hands. You know what I'm saying? So it's helping them understand the relevance of the things that have been fought for, the people who have died, for you to be able to hold that phone in your hand and order some Uber Eats. You know what I'm saying? Or we supposed to be boycotting Uber Eats, or order something off Lyft, or you know what I'm saying, like DoorDash or something. But
yeah,
it's helping them understand the relevance. And once they can understand that relevance, then they'll get active. And I'm not exactly sure how that looks in other places, because I see like Georgia has a large youth vanguard. LA has always been crazy. Like Pac said, you know what I'm saying, in Cali we ride, not rally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they definitely got the young generation in Cali. When we was out there, we definitely had the young generation fighting with us.
Yeah,
that was beautiful, man.
And I don't know,
that was beautiful
how they do it, but here, like where I'm at, you gotta get these little guys to understand. But it's other movements that I'm seeing is working. You know what I'm saying, with the little guy. That unity movement in Chicago is that's a tough movement, man. They doing the work.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just the relevance. You get the relevance, then you can get the young organizers. But they got to understand the relevance.
All right, last question. This is a question that I ask every single guest. If it's one thing life has taught you, what is that and why?
Man, keep going. Life is short. Life is short. Life is spontaneous. Tomorrow, you know what I'm saying, might not happen. So, you know, you got to take advantage of opportunities and you got to keep pushing forward, because the moment that you stop, you know what I mean, that's a step further away from your dreams that you are. A step further away from your success. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep moving, man. It's a lot of bumps, it's a lot of bruises, it's gonna be a lot of change of direction, it's gonna be a lot of obstacles to maneuver around, because ain't nothing sweet. And if it is too sweet, you probably going in the wrong direction. You know what I'm saying? Right. But yeah, you just gotta keep moving. You gotta learn from your lesson. That part too. A wise man learn from his lesson. A genius learn from a wise man. So if you could be that wise man for the next generation, make them all geniuses, then you know what I'm saying, you made your difference. You left your legacy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, Karl, man, it was good to have you on. Don't be a stranger to the pot or stirring the pot. We need this grassroots energy on here again, good brother. Yeah. And I thank you so much for coming, man. Man, I thank anything you want to say to the people before you get off?
Yeah, man. I gotta thank you for having me on here, man. Like I say, man, I'm honored. You know what I'm saying? I saw Cornell West on here. Like, that's a real big deal. Like, I'm just honored, Tig. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you,
man. I'm humbled. You know.
Yeah. You doing
Thanks to Dr. Molina for that.
yeah, Dr. Molina, and I said her wrong name. I said her name wrong in my Facebook post the other day. I'll be saying Melina. It's Melina, but yeah, thank you, Dr. Abdullah. We appreciate everything that you're doing with Grassroots, man. The 53 chapters is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's in Illinois, check in and make sure that you get your local legislator, whether it's your senator or your state rep, to support House Bill 4443.
House Bill 4443.
Giving direct cash payments, $500 direct cash payments to SNAP eligible families in low income neighborhoods, and they taking that money from the 25% of the marijuana tax dollar funds that's supposed to be allocated to the neighborhoods most harmed from the war on drugs anyway. So it ain't raising the taxes. This is money that's already there, allocated for these purposes. And so make sure 4443, you gain support on that. And if y'all need to follow me, you want any of the links, you want for the credit repair, if you got a house you need built or whatever, just, man, Karl Ferrell on Facebook is going across the screen right now. Mr. Ferrell 24 on Instagram. And I think I'm K Ferrell 6 on TikTok or something like that. But
and if you can't get them that way, contact me and I'll connect the dots.
For sure.
Hey, Karl, man, don't hang up. I'm going to end the show out, and, you know, we're going to talk about something real quick.
All right, what's up, bro?
All right. Folks, I hope you enjoyed yourself on this episode, and you got some great information from my guy, Karl, one of my grassroots family. And this has been a great Saturday. As always, put God first in your life. Trust him and everything will be just fine. As always, this episode has been brought to you by Collywood TV, Collywood Radio, Dollar Radio, Going In Radio, DemoniCbrand.com, NorShadeDemoreBoutique.com. And hey, we here. We stirring, we booming, and we out. Peace.
What's up, y'all? Tune into the Pop Podcast with Tgmatic.
For the Pop Podcast with your boy Tgmatic. Interview.
Pop Podcast, stirring the pot.
So tune into the Pop Podcast with Tgmatic on Collywood TV.
Tune in to the Pop Podcast, my boy Tgmatic.
And Going In Radio. You might get some good music and some knowledge.